Hello again and welcome to my third vlog.
Hi everybody!
What is happening with that light? Let's just... I don't know. So today I want to talk about short films because I really want to film a short film. Obviously, how else would you do it? So in order to do that, I had to research them a lot, obviously, and I just thought I'd share my research because it's quite interesting and there's just a lot more than you think it's gonna be. So like for my own short film, I probably will just take my own camera, pick up a few friends who won't mind like acting for me, give them a script, tell them what to do, and like that's it, because like I have a camera, I don't need really expensive equipment. Maybe I'll hire something from my college like a tripod, but like in reality it won't cost me a lot. Like I'll pay for my friends' travel if they need that, but other than that, like I don't really have much to pay for. But if I was to film like a proper big like short film or just like anything in general, then there's like a lot. So I want to talk about that. So in order to like make a short film, you need equipment, crew, location and finance. So finance, obviously if you have enough money you could just finance it yourself, but if you don't have enough money then you can get a loan from the bank. But it works fine, like it's just a normal loan, but because it's for a short film and like you'd be paying them back with the money that you earn from the film, they would want to see all the collateral for the film so they can make sure that like it will go somewhere and like you'll earn enough money to pay them back. So when you are financing for a film, you have to think about like every little detail that you would pay for. When filming a film, there are these things called negative costs, which are basically all the things that you have to pay for to produce the negatives, which is the shots themselves. So that'll be like the actors, the location, labour, materials, like stuff like that. So they'll all produce the negatives. Then after that you have additional costs, so that'll be any like special effects for editing or like marketing, advertising, all that kind of stuff. So a low budget film, short film, will probably cost about like 200,000 to like even $1 million. Like it literally just depends on like your financial range and like your goals for the short film itself. Like it could cost £20, like it literally could, if you made it good enough, you know. A high budget film like a blockbuster could cost 50 million to 150 million. Like it's just so expensive. Yeah, obviously I'm not going to be making one of those. So you can hire equipment from like companies, like websites and stuff. You can literally just put in hire a camera or like hire lights and loads will come up. But on one website that I found, I'm pretty sure it's called Hire a Camera. So time frame, obviously that just depends on you. If you want to get it done in 2 months, you get it done in 2 months. If you want to get it done in 2 weeks, do it in 2 weeks. That's all on you. But for like loans, you've got to work to the deadline of the loan, because otherwise you're just not going to be able to pay it back and that is never going to end well. Let's talk about crew. So basically the crew needed for a short film will be a producer, and a producer is someone who focuses on like the business side of things. So they'll often help with the script, find financing, and like hire the crew, maybe cast, whatever. Then there's the director. The director is in charge of every creative aspect on the whole thing. Often the director will also be the writer or the producer, because then it gives them more control. There'll be a screenwriter, which is literally someone who writes all the dialogue. Then there'll be a cinematographer, which is someone who operates the camera, and they'll often like give the director like tips on like good shot. There's the boom operator, which is literally someone that just stands and holds the boom, but it's also like you've got to make sure that you don't get in the shot, so you've got to be wary of everyone. Then there's the editor, obviously. So they like work with the director to edit the footage and audio together to make them how they want to be. Sometimes there'll be a composer, which is someone who like will work with the director, producer, whatever, to make a score specifically for the film. So like often on like big films, there'll be a song released with the film. So for example, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, when that came out, the main song in it was Sunflower by Post Malone and Swale, and that got released with the film, and because it was in the film, everyone would hear it, and then that song became like massive. So like music artists will often collaborate with people who are making films to make a new song that's perfect for that specific film. And then obviously you'll have like actors, because you kind of need those. Also there'll be like costume designer, and then also hair and makeup. For a location, I already spoke about pricing, like it's different for everything, but it's often found like by the producer. And when you find a location, you have to think about every little detail. Like you have to think about like if it's outside, then you have to think about the weather. Even if it's inside, like do you want it, you have to be careful of the weather as well, because if it's raining outside, like, maybe that's not what you want. You got to think about the costs, like it might cost too much for your budget, or permission, you might only have permission to go in a certain area, so you have to be aware of that, make sure you only stay in that certain area. And then accessibility, like if you're outside and there's uneven grounds, you've got to make sure that everyone in your crew can like get everywhere alright without like injuring themselves. Also, when you get a location, you have to visit the location and like the specific areas that you want to go to before you film, just to make sure that everything is fine, like it's exactly what you want, and so that you can plan out perfectly like where you want to go and when, because otherwise you could be walking around in a place and be like, oh, like that looks cool, like you could do it there, rather than just being like, okay, next we go to this certain place. You'll just be wandering around for a while, and it's better to be prepared for that. So you have to visit the location before to make sure it's suitable. This is called a reese, so you have to get a reese before you start filming. So regulation for anything, like there's music regulators, there's radio, even like postal regulators, like literally everything. There is a regulator that you have to go through before you can release anything. So for a short film, you would need to go through the BBFC, which are the company that put classifications on films. So what the BBFC will do is watch the film. If there's too much like sexual references, drugs, like nudity, anything like that, they'll make the classification higher, because they don't want young people seeing that. Yeah, so you'll have to go through that first and make sure that you get a classification. And then you'll also have to go through Ofcom. Ofcom regulate TV, radio, and they basically just protect the public from any offensive or harmful materials. Also, you have to make sure that you get permission of anyone whose music or images or footage that you're using, because otherwise this could like bring up a copyright claim, and obviously like you don't want that. So it's not gonna end well. Yeah, I think that's about it. As I said, like my short film's gonna be financed all by me because it won't cost a lot at all. I'll be the director, the producer, the writer, the cinematographer, editor. I'll be all of it except for the actor. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.